I freaking love Ryan Reynolds. Ryan is a really talented, one-of-a-kind movie star who is as vocal in his real life as he is in most of his movies. He has lent his talents to many bad movies and some really good ones, some great ones. But the thing is, regardless of how the movie is, Ryan is, as a star, always a treat to watch. Hello, namaskar, welcome, swagatam. Netflix just released a new star-studded sci-fi action comedy flick called The Adam Project. Starring Ryan Reynolds, this movie also boasts of talents like Mark Ruffalo, Jennifer Garner, Catherine Keener, Zoe Saldana, along with the newcomer young Walker Scobell. So let us talk about The Adam Project in today's installment of Tinsel Talk, where I share my feelings on all things good and bad in the world of movies and shows. The movie revolves around a protagonist named Adam who comes back from the future to stop his time from happening. His time is the year 2050. As described by Adam in the movie, Terminator Judgment Day's view of the future is like his 2050 on a good day. That, in essence, is the essence of the story. As time travel stories go, there are the usual tropes of interacting with one's own past self, changing things that should not be changed, and all the consequences of these.
Laura, this is me.
Hi! Parallel contact me?
Some clever thinking, a lot of science fiction time travel mumbo jumbo, and surprisingly, a fair amount of emotional stuff is seen in this movie. Opposing the protagonist Adam is the villain Maya Sorian, played by Catherine Keener, and her younger self, played by Catherine Keener herself, with the magic of de-aging. Maya Sorian, the villain, who has kind of the monopoly over time travel in her future, she wants absolute power and all that normal villain shit. Her illegal and unethical ways are discovered by Adam's wife, Laura, played by Zoe Saldana. Then Maya gets rid of Laura, which triggers Adam into the obsession of uncovering the truth. For that, he travels back in time, partners up with his younger self, played by Walker Scobell, and his father, Louis Reed, played by Mark Ruffalo. After some heavy-handed emotional dialogue about family, separation and grief, the trio get into a comedic, CGI-filled cinematic climactic battle against the goons, both from the present and the future. The righteous win and the evil loses, and that's it, the movie ends. With this simple premise, The Adam Project isn't what you'd call a niche movie or a passion project or something like that. It is a piece of entertainment which is not to be taken too seriously. In fact, when you learn about the movie's history, how it was struggling to get made for over 10 years, while names like Tom Cruise and Paramount Studios were attached to it, you would feel that none other than Ryan Reynolds would have produced this. And Netflix, well, hats off to Netflix for making this film. Because what this film is a decently adequate dose of entertainment amidst cliches and tropes. And more than that, this star-studded affair has the top-notch acting that one doesn't usually associate with this kind of Netflix movies. Starting from the beginning, the thing that hooked me to the screen right in the first few minutes of the movie was, unfortunately, not Ryan Reynolds, but Walker Scobell. The very first line Walker says in the movie will leave you marveling at the casting. This young actor portrays the quippy, clever, quick mouths and overall Ryan Reynolds type character absolutely perfectly. You have no doubt in your mind that this little guy is indeed playing the same person who would grow up to be that man who always has something witty to say, even at the worst of circumstances and conditions. Most of the screen time Walker shares with Ryan are absolute perfection. It's like having Ryan Reynolds in a double role. But that is not all. When the Adams from two different fixed times reunite with their father, played by Mark Ruffalo, you have another surprise in front of you.
Adam? Dad.
Mark Ruffalo plays his character Louis Reed with the same sharp, hyperverbal and a little dark humor as his son Adam Reed. Mark's screen time is quite limited though. but as long as he is on the screen, he is a treat to watch. Jennifer Garner as Louise's wife and Adam's mother, she has her small but fitting role, and she makes an impression as an aggrieved woman trying to raise a teenager.
It's the third time you've been suspended for fighting. I don't understand you.
Dad would.
I miss him too, you know.
Her interaction with both versions of Adam are surprisingly emotional and well executed. But all things aren't great in this movie, which I would elaborate in a moment. But before I forget, I must remind myself to remind you to remember to take your mouse pointer or your finger down to that red button, which will let you subscribe to my channel, The Versatile Doctor. Come on, you can do it. Done? Okay, moving on. The emotional weight carried by Adam and his mother and Adam and his wife are quite good. The moments are well balanced, believable and touching. But just before the climax of the movie, the young 12-year-old Adam tries to sound too mature and emotional, talking about how fathers and mothers deal with love and grief. That part was supposed to make the viewers all the more connected with the Reed family, but it was simply bad. Also, the de-aging of Catherine Keener was bad, especially in the climax of the movie, where while there was a lot of CGI all around and Catherine's face stood out like a sore thumb, and it didn't help that the real 60-year-old Catherine was standing right beside the de-aged version of the character. The climax was supposed to be comedic, that I get, but it actually ended up being comical. The de-aging of Maya Sorian was not the only weak link in the climax though. The obviously CG environment and the conflict and the fights themselves were poorly thought out and not that good in execution. That was in stark contrast with the first few fight scenes, which though nothing groundbreaking but were very enjoyable and very entertaining. Still, the weakest link in the whole story were two instances which didn't make any sense. First, when the older Adam decided to take the younger Adam on his mission, and the second, when Adam's father decided to help them. While in the first case, an emotionally distraught Adam, the older Adam, was about to put the life of a child in danger, not to mention the fact that it was his own past version, meaning if he died, the older Adam wouldn't exist. This decision needed to carry more weight and more thinking and more emotions than what the movie gave us. Secondly, while the stakes were high, the man who literally wrote the book on time travel ethics and do's and don'ts, he suddenly decided to intervene and throw his rule book out the window. Again, this needed a little bit more development than the heroic last-minute surprise rescue thing that we see in the movie. All that said, the strength of the movie is immensely good acting across the board, well, except for the villain. The villain's acting was as one-dimensional as young Catherine's de-aged face. And while we are still on the subject of de-aging, Mark Ruffalo's character did feel like he should have been younger. I'm not saying that he should have been given the same not so good digital de-aging treatment as Catherine Keener's character, but character-wise, Louis Reed, looking to be in his late 40s or early 50s, while his supposed colleague Maya Sorian was probably in her 30s. This is one of those things which you can't actually point out, but they do make the movie experience somehow feel unreal. Not good. Music-wise, there was nothing remarkable, okay, but the CGI was really great. If not for the de-aging thing, the entire movie is filled with some really nicely done CG work. And hats off to the vision of Shawn Levy, who previously teamed up with Ryan Reynolds in another action comedy venture, Free Guy. I must say, even with a few story weaknesses there, Free Guy was a much more enjoyable movie than this one, The Adam Project. However, I'm aware that it might not be pertinent nor fair to compare the two. Even with the flaws, The Adam Project has great acting, amazing chemistry among the lead characters, a more or less decent story, nice visuals and action, and lots of good humor. These are positives of the movie which would certainly bring you back for a rewatch or two, and more, a lot more, if you are a fan of Ryan Reynolds. I shall give The Adam Project 6.5 thumbs ups out of 10. What do you think? Do you think the Adam Project would have been a better movie if it starred Tom Cruise or it was produced by Paramount Studios? If you like this video, please do leave a thumbs up and share it with all your friends. And if you don't agree with my thoughts and opinions, jump right down into the comment section and do tell me what you think. This is all from my side in this video. Till the next time, stay connected on social media. You have been with Dr. Abhinav Atul, and it is my pride and privilege to be able to connect with you through this video. Namaskar. While you are still on YouTube, how about you check out this video which YouTube thinks you would like. And right here in this playlist link, you will find all my Tinsel Talk videos.